Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna be talking about this subway scene I created and how I went about making it. Um, came up with this idea. Well, I didn't really come up with the idea. I saw a concept art on Pinterest and I couldn't end up finding the photo after because I didn't save it. So I have nothing to reference, and so I guess in a way I did come up with it. But the idea came from Pinterest. I found this subway train car on Fab, and so I downloaded it. It was an FBX, and it did come with textures already. And so my idea was I kind of wanted it to look run down and like it was abandoned. And so the easiest way for me to do that was through Houdini. I applied a mountain node to the outside of the car, and I honestly I didn't do much to it. Like the input that I added to it was very minimal, just because the subway car is like a single plane. There was no thickness to it, and so I did extrude it out a little bit, and that allowed me to give it that like crumbly look. And then I also added a bend node, um, which again here on I feel like things like this are just so much easier in Houdini. And so I made it look a little bit twisted, torn up, because my plan was to sink the car a little bit into the ground, um, so it looks like abandoned, like it went off the rails. And so here you can just see me like I'm separating all the parts of the train into their own separate groups, because um, if I don't do that, then the mountain node is going to be applied to everything, and I don't want that. And it I actually didn't separate it at first just because I wanted to see if it was even possible, just to give me an idea of like how the geometry would react. And so after I figured that out, I started separating everything. And so I separated the windows from from the exterior and the interior. And the bend obviously is applied to, well, not obviously because you might not know, but the bend was applied to the whole car. But the mountain node was just applied to the exterior of it. And what you guys didn't get to see, just because to be honest, I did forget to hit record a couple times. I did add some like holes to the windows, and you can probably notice them here in this video. Um, so I added holes to the windows again to give it that abandoned look. And here I am just honestly messing around with the composition. Again, I saw this concept art and that was the inspiration for it, but um, I really did not know like how I was going to just place everything. So here I am messing around, and this is honestly what took the longest time. Um, is the composition, because I was tweaking so much of it that uh I feel like for stuff like this, like before you jump in, you should have a clear idea of what you're going to make. But um like I don't know, for me this is part of the fun, is just tweaking stuff. And you also got to remember, like, even though you have an idea in your head, just like allow things to change. Like, even though you might think, okay, this looks really good, I'm gonna do it this way, because the way it looks kind of right now, I feel like it looks pretty badass, and I could have left it like that with the way it's laid out, just like this. And when you see the final product, you're gonna see like, okay, like that was probably a good idea. Um, but again, I feel like as an artist, you kind of feel for your work, and you're like, okay, I don't like, I like it, but it's not exactly what I want. And so you keep tweaking stuff, and this is literally what it is. I'm just adding, here I am adding a plane of water to the ground. And I tried I did add water to the mix. I mixed it in with the ground texture, and this texture I did find off Quixel Megascans, and the other ones I found on Ambient CG and Polyhaven, I believe. And so here I am again working on composition, tweaking the water puddles for the end result, and I'm not really liking how this is looking because I want the water to also be again like puddles above the tracks, and so um, I also did not like the wood on the train tracks, but the end result to me is actually really pretty, and um, I was going to like I love dark scenes, and I was going to have these like these metal wires going across, and I did have some in the end, but it's so funny because I actually didn't end up texturing any of those just because you don't see them because my scene is so dark. And here I am showing you pretty much the final result. These are actually assets I found on Quixel. Um, the stairs you see up here to the left, I found they're like modular, and I was gonna add like a staircase or like a catwalk above the train, but then I was like that doesn't really make sense to me. Um, and then I just added really like some broken like concrete, some like safety cones, and I end up adding some pellets here towards the end, and um, like to me, this is exactly kind of like this felt right. Like this was more of what I was going for, and honestly, I'm just deleting like assets that I had placed earlier. I added fog because, of course, you need fog, and yeah, I hope you guys. I'm gonna here show you the final product, and I hope you guys like it.